about how to really embody the frequency of abundance. Now, why is this important? Well, as you know, we are having a spiritual experience on this 3D plane, right? We're spiritual, that's the saying, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and where we're having that experience is in our physical bodies. And the more I anchor in the frequency of abundance, the more I realize this sacred vessel gets to be right at the center of how I am inhabiting the abundance frequency. And I will share something about my own journey, because lately I've been having an absolutely massive shift in my consciousness around the topic of embodiment. Since I was 3 years old, I've been dancing, I've been moving my body, I've absolutely lent on physical movement, not only for my health and well-being, but for joy and for expression. It is a very deep part of who I am as a being, as a soul incarnating in this human experience. And yet, something has been stopping me from bringing that into the space of my practice, of my service, of my healing. And it isn't the case that I've been keeping it separate from my life. I just haven't been showing that side of myself. When I became a crystal healer, one of the things I loved about crystals was that they actually are physical, tangible objects. So even though we're working with energy to heal, to transform, to grow, we also have these allies that in and of themselves can embody the frequency of abundance, or the frequency of love, or the frequency of safety and grounding, depending on what they are, right? So that was very helpful for me when people come to me and we physically place stones, crystals, minerals on the body. There's a sense of connection. There is a subconscious communing with the earth that is incredibly powerful. But I had not made the connection between what I'm here to bring to the world and my own personal physical practices that I do every single day to keep myself connected to source, to keep myself connected to the divine, and to keep myself grounded, centered, safe, with a regulated nervous system. And the reason why this is so incredibly important is because we cannot manifest when we don't have a safe feeling in a body. When we have a dysregulated nervous system, it can be quite difficult to move towards those new growth edges. And perhaps this is something that you notice in yourself, and it's certainly something that I notice in my clients. I recently launched a 3-day amazing immersion called the Alchemy Immersion, where I work with people on a very personalized one-to-one basis to call in divine abundance. And it's so often the case that what wants to be addressed first and foremost is a feeling that I am not safe. And that feeling needs to be grounded in the physical body. So we can really, really start from there. And the reason why, apart from the fact that I absolutely love movement of all kinds, but the reason why I am so dedicated to every single morning getting on my mat and moving my physical body, connecting with energy, connecting with the ground, is because I know that anchors me. I know that that is what allows my mind to stay calm and to stay present. I mean, gosh, I put it first above everything. If I can't physically move my energy, I find it very difficult to be grounded, present, anchored in sharing things, for example, like what I'm talking to you about today. So does this resonate with you? Do you have a sense of the importance of your physical vessel? Do you have a sense of the importance of moving when you feel stagnant, even if it's just going for a walk around the park, even if it's just simply, I don't know, like shaking your hands or stamping your feet on the ground to just bring a sense of aliveness to the physical body is really, really important. And it's also really, really important for just that practical sense. Yes, orange tulip, hello. Oh, thank you. So nice to be with you. Amazing, yay. So, this is absolutely essential. And I want to also address the fact that sometimes we do not always feel safe, comfortable, or ready to bring all the aspects of ourselves into the light. So there was a part of me who felt like, oh no, my yoga practice, my physical movement, the fact that I have danced since I was 3, no, that's over there. That's just personal. That's my fun. That's my connection. But I'm going to keep that separate, because what if people judge me for being good at that? What if people think I'm showing off? What if people don't think that that's connected to manifesting, to abundance, to healing? But what I realized is that when I bring that in, that is the highest service. That is the highest service, because it's the thing that makes me who I am, and it's the thing that makes me full of life. It's the thing that fuels me. So I want to ask you, is there any part of you that you are keeping out of your identity, of your space, of the business you might be creating, of the projects that you're doing, of how you show up and express yourself in the world? Because it may very well be that they are the very medicine that the rest of the world needs. And I have evidence of this, because when I did a live session on this same or similar topic the other day with some amazing women, and I shared, I love being physical, I love moving my body, I love filming myself dancing and moving and stuff. And I asked them what had been kept out. Guess what? They said the same thing. Since they were children, they loved using their voice, they loved drama, they loved dance, they loved to be in the spotlight. And for some reason, maybe it got shut down. But actually, when we really reconnected to that sense of, no, this is part of who I am, we realized together as a collective that this is the frequency of abundance, because it's self-honoring, it's bringing in what we really love, how we really love to express. Okay, so there's 2 pieces so far. One is the physical necessity of the body and caring for it in order to anchor abundance. And the second is honoring all the aspects of yourself that you may not have included in how you show up in the world, right? And that doesn't have to be about movement or singing or performing or anything like that. It can be whatever it is that you love to do. Because scarcity says, no, I'm keeping things separate. It's not okay for me to be a whole self. It's not okay for me to seem that I have disparate aspects of my personality. It's like it's a no vibe. Whereas abundance is like everything gets to be included. Everything gets to be included. So that's what I want to welcome in. So how do we actually do it? How do we embody the frequency of abundance? And actually, what do we even mean when we say the frequency of abundance? To me, this is the universal presence of abundance. It's just an energy that's out there. It is the fact that we are surrounded by so much, an overflowing, never-ending, eternal spring of love, of unity consciousness, of nature. It's not to spiritually bypass all of the extremely difficult things that are happening in the world right now, but it is to recognize that that energy is timeless awareness itself, and it does not get diminished by the things that are happening down here in the 3D. Okay, so for me, when I say embody abundance, I mean anchor that frequency in the body and experience ourselves as divine channels, vessels, vehicles, conduits for that energy. So we get to absorb it and recycle it and let it flow, and we spread our light and our abundance and our message, and it duplicates and magnifies because we have chosen to carry it through, and it touches every single person that we meet. So how do we actually do it? Well, the first thing really is very simply to recognize that you have a body. And I know that sounds extremely simplistic. I know that sounds like, well, obviously I know that I have a body, but it's the real presence. And it's that communing with the vessel that we have. It's the ability to pay attention to the body, to sense its aliveness and to listen to what it is saying. Because how can you call in that next growth edge, that next big quantum expansion, if you are not paying attention to what your body needs? If it's too hungry, if it's too tired, if it's dysregulated, if it's imbalanced, if there's too much electricity moving through the physical system, it's going to be hard to manifest. And I'm always talking about these different layers, right? The body, the mind, the subconscious, the energy, the soul, the spirit. And sometimes, because the body is the most dense layer, we just think, oh, the body is, you know, it's the least important, or it's the least high, it's the least spiritual. But actually, biology is one of the most sacred things in the entire cosmos. So let's honor our bodies as sacred. Let's honor every single cell in our bodies and recognize that they are the things, as is the DNA, that can anchor these frequencies in a physical way. Let's really, really worship our bodies. Now, when we say let's worship our bodies, what comes up? For a lot of people, and I'll be honest, I include myself in this, self-criticism. A lifetime's worth of conditioning that tells us our bodies are not good enough, we are not pretty enough, we are not whatever enough. And it doesn't matter how beautiful you are, you can still have that feeling. Okay, and that is one of the things that we get to really, really turn within and heal as part of this process of anchoring in abundance. Because again, when we are self-critical all the time and we dismiss our bodies as not good enough, we're not prioritizing what's amazing and what is already present, what is far, far beyond enough. I was in a meditation with Mia Magic maybe a few months ago actually, and we just went through all the different sensory organs, the ears, the eyes, the mouth, the skin, and we just said thank you to every sensory organ. Thanking the ears for every single sound that you've ever heard, thanking the eyes for every beautiful image you've ever seen, thanking the nose for every single piece of beautiful perfume smell that you've ever come across, you know, and the mouth for the tastes. And it was so profound and so grounding and anchoring, because we often just forget to do that, right? We're often so busy, concerned with what's wrong with the body, how it's not behaving how we want, that we forget to just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, body. This is not a quick fix, right? I know it's really deeply ingrained sometimes, but it's just to bring it to awareness and actually to bring it into the collective consciousness. We are experiencing these collective forms of body shame and oppression together. So every time that we shed a bit of that and move towards the sense of abundance, of like, I have a body, thank you, body, I love you, body, you know we're doing it for each other, right? And I have to tell you, in my Abundance Alchemy Immersion, one of my clients I was working with over the weekend, and it was such an honor and a pleasure and a gift. The biggest breakthrough, actually there were quite a lot of breakthroughs, but one of the biggest ones was simply, I am not going to fight my body anymore. I'm going to let myself sleep. It's the weekend. I'm going to let myself sleep as long as I need. I'm not going to judge myself for how tired I feel. I'm not going to judge my body for feeling achy and sometimes aging, you know, and I'm going to feed myself when I'm hungry. I'm going to give myself exactly what I need. And the breakthrough was so huge. And this was in the context of an abundance immersion. Because with that rest, with that coming back to home, she was able to start seeing how much abundance was all around her in different areas of her life, how much she'd already achieved, where she wants to go. And it really was incredible, just in anchoring rest, just in caring for the physical self, taking pleasure in cooking a really, really nice meal for yourself. Just absolutely incredible. Lack says, I don't have time to rest, I don't have time to take care of myself. And abundance says, I choose to make time to look after this divine sacred vessel that is carrying me through life. So I want to talk about fuel, okay, because we need fuel. We need fuel for the amazing things that we are here to express and achieve and share and gift the world, right, in this lifetime. And I do mean literal fuel, food, you know, minerals, vitamins, supplements, water, fresh air. I mean those things. But I also mean all the other kinds of fuel. What is it that really fuels you? What energizes you? What gives you energy? What makes you feel like your tank is totally full? And it's really, really important to just take a moment to think about what that is and to do it more. For me, there's lots of things: being in nature, yoga, dance, music, chanting. I love embodied things, right? And also for me, I love interior design. I love creating beautiful spaces and gorgeousness in my home. That really lights me up. I repainted a room recently and I was just in heaven, just painting the room, choosing the colour, making it look so beautiful, making it look clean, listening to some amazing podcasts while I did it. Those things, they just give me a lot of energy. And so, you know, I choose to make time to do those things, and that helps to sustain all of the rest of it, right? So what fuels you? What lights you up? What makes you feel alive? What makes you feel healthy? What makes you feel energized? Can you find some space and time within your life to do more of that? Okay, and then the third thing is about like physically moving your body. Whatever kind of range of movement you have, how much you like exercise or don't like exercise, just moving is so very, very important. And you know, when you feel like you don't know what to do, you don't know where things are going, you don't know if you can trust yourself, you don't know what's coming next, you're not really clear on the vision, I really believe movement, physical movement, is the thing that unblocks all of that. If you are stuck with an idea and you just walk around the block and you forget about it, how many times does the answer come to you? We just can't be static. We literally, physically, we can't be static. If we want our business, if our projects, our creativity, we want that to be flowing, we have to physically move. And, you know, it can be as simple as going for a walk out in nature, going around the park, finding movements that help you ground, even just rubbing your palms together. It's so grounding. You can actually rub the soles of your feet together as well. Clap your hands. You know, I love if I feel like I need to move energy, I'll usually like shake and just literally physically shake energy off, or I'll like pat down my arms, pat down all the meridian lines, I pat down my body. I physically find movements that actually move energy and move my bones and move my muscles, and it's just so incredibly profoundly ultra helpful. And I feel more abundant. I feel more abundant when I've walked around the park with nothing in my hand, nothing in my ears, listening to the sounds of nature, communing with the wind, with the rain, with the birds, with the earth. I feel like everything is here. So let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you feel like having a deeper connection with and an honoring of your physical vessel is something you want more of in your life. Can you consider, if you're listening to your body, and if you listen and you get some answers, are you giving it what it needs? Are you criticizing yourself for how it's functioning, or are you accepting this is the way things are in this moment? I am not going to fire the second arrow and make myself suffer more by judging how things are, but instead I'm going to listen and feed and rest and honor and heal my self-relationship. Yeah, and then the second thing is fuel. Are you tapped into the things that really give you energy, that really give you life, that fill up your tank? And can you bring more of those in? And can you physically move more? Like jump, do 10 star jumps right now, and then sit in quietness afterwards and feel the difference in your energy. And this is all the foundational work for calling in abundance. And this is also the foundational work for feeling energy, for feeling those subtler, finer aspects of yourself, of the energy field, of your soul, of spirit. So this is what I wanted to share with you today, and I'm going to be talking more and more about embodiment, about specific kinds of movements that we can do, about specific ways we can anchor this frequency really in this precious vessel. So let me know how it lands, and I really appreciate you. Thank you everybody who's been here, who's been listening, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Thank you. Bye.